Hi, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Money absolutely matters in the Philippines and anywhere else you might be. We're going to show you the absolute best way we've ever seen for getting your money. You're going to pay less, you're going to make more, and it's unfortunately not going to work for everyone. But it doesn't matter whether you're getting $1,000 a month from the U.S. or $10,000 a month. You're gonna save money. It's going to depend on where you are. So let's talk about this.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you right now. We're going to show you the cheapest way you can get money here. And it's actually one of the easiest ways. Now, I don't know what country you're in, but this works in the Philippines for sure. And it may very well work in many other countries. All right, we all know about Remitly or Wise or Western Union. You know all about that. You're going to pay a fee, you're going to get hit on the conversion rate, the whole nine yards. We all know about wiring money. Many of you, unless you have very strong bank accounts, are going to pay to wire money, and you're going to pay on the conversion rate. We all know about the ATMs, fees plus conversion rate. And then we also all know about things like Schwab, Edward Jones, a couple of other companies, and how they refund fees, but it's the conversion rate. That's where I'm going with this. Now, let me tell you what we've done, what we've seen, and what we have absolutely been astounded by, and how, for some of you that are in Manila, Cebu, maybe Dumaguete, I don't know, certainly Angeles City. Um, I would think pretty much most of the reasonably modern cities, this is going to work. For those of you that are in the province, you're not going to maybe make this work. But here we go. All right. China Bank. China Bank, if you have a China Bank accessible to you, all right, this works. And let me tell you, I'm so astounded by how well it works. Now, some of you may say, "Oh, saving $100 is no big deal." Well, if you save $100 a month, all right, getting your money here, because you're actually making money, not just saving it. And I'll show you the power of Forex, I guess is the best word for it, and the problem with the Chinese economy. That's at least why I think. If you'll wait to the end of the video, I'll tell you why I think this works as well as it does. Because it has to do with Chinese, and you may not want to hear about it right now. All right, so let's take a look at it. All right, now forgive me if I'm not talking directly at you because my spreadsheet's on my monitor and I don't have enough desk space to put my camera behind my monitor. Now, here's what works. Today's highest international, actually yesterday's highest international spot rate was 56.86 pesos to the dollar. All right. The rate on Fields Ave and Walking Street was 56.25. Yet, if you went to China Bank and converted US dollars, you would go 56.95 if you were a preferred customer. So let's talk about that. Preferred customer. Okay, you have to have a US dollar savings account with at least 1,000 US dollars in it. Well, you're saying, well, Mike, we don't all have that. Well, you should have an emergency fund. That can be part of your emergency fund, is that $1,000, and you're not losing it. You can just withdraw it if you need it, if worse comes to worse. But let's say that you transferred $5,000. And for those of you moving less every month, just hang tight. All right? $5,000 at the international spot rate, which you will never get without a commercial Forex account. All right? And that's not a cheap thing to do. You would have yielded 284,300 pesos. If you had taken $5,000 in cash down to Walking Street, all right, or Fields Ave, you would have yielded 281,250. But if you went to China Bank and gave them $5,000, you would have yielded 284,750. That's more than the international spot rate by, 400 pesos. But it's 3,000 pesos practically more than the walking street rate. And now, hold on, before you start saying, well, you know what, Mike, we can't be going down there. Who's got, $50,000 in liquid cash in the Philippines to go to the bank with? Hold on. There's easy solution to this. Very easy solution. And I'm going to show it to you. But first, let me show you what happens otherwise. All right. Let's say you're on a Social Security retirement at $1,500 a month. The best you would have gotten is $84,375. But at China Bank, you would have gotten $85,425. At the end of the year, that would have made you enough for some of you to pay your monthly rent. Some of you, all right? If all you're getting is that amount of money, then that's the type of budget you're living in. All right? If you were at $2,000, you would have gotten $112,500 and $113,900 versus $113,900. At $2,500, the number goes even higher. $140,000 versus $142,375. So just short of $2,000. All right. At $3,000, though, you're making 2,000 pesos on a $3,000 transaction. You know what? Every penny counts. If you're making 2,000 pesos every month, all right, well, my God, now for a lot of you, that's paying your rent. At 3,500, you're making almost 3,000 pesos. And it keeps going up, and I'm not going to do the math. Now, what you're going to be saying is, well, hold on, Mike, I don't do this and I don't do that. Look, let me try and show you just how simple and actually almost free this is. That's what's really important. Okay. First off, you've got to be able to open a bank account at China Bank. So you've got to get your ACR card, you've got to have an address, and I think you may have to show some sort of a bill. China Bank is not going to let you open that up. So you're going to have to wait that little bit of time to get that ACR card. So you go to China Bank, you're going to open up 2 accounts. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so you're going to open up 2 accounts. You're going to open up a US dollar account and you're going to open up a peso account. Now, you're going to need to keep a minimum of 1,000 US dollars in that US dollar account. And it needs to be a checking account. All right? You're going to be writing checks from that US dollar account into your peso account. Sort of, kind of. So what happens is you write a U.S. check first into your Philippine U.S. dollar account. Okay, so you may want to like do this in a 30-day roll, which means prepare it this month and the balance is always in there when you fund it next month. All right. So that means in the US, you need a checking account and you need to bring checks with you. And you're just going to walk into the bank. All right. Write them a check into your US dollar account. China Bank, there's no fees, there's nothing. Nothing. You write them a check for $5,000, that $5,000 is in there. You write them a check for $1,500, as soon as your check clears, takes about 7 days. All right. So you're going to do that in advance, and you're always going to keep doing that. Now, you may say, well, that's a pain in the ass. I got to go to the bank. You know what? China Bank has many branches in malls. Go to the mall, take care of the crap you want to take care of at the mall, and then make your deposit. So let's say the check's now cleared, you're ready to go. What happens next? All right, you're going to go into the bank, you're going to go to the manager, and you're going to tell them, hey, I'm a preferred customer. How much are you going to give me for US dollars? And here's where, the news kind of gets a little weird here. And like I said, I'll explain it to you at the end of the video. The bank is going to give you their preferred rate. Their preferred rate is somebody that wants to buy US dollars. Okay? It's not the bank, that rate that's on the wall. The rate, you'll go into the bank and the bank's going to tell you, hey, this is how much we pay for US dollars. So you're not doing any cash. Your US dollars is already in their bank. They're going to give you the best rate. And it's going to beat, or has been at least beating, everybody else. Okay? By leaps and bounds. You're going to say, okay, and you're going to write that check into your peso account, and they're going to give it to you at that rate. Then you're going to withdraw the number of pesos you need to withdraw. All right. Oh, look at that. I have a typo. I didn't even notice it. Sorry, manager, not mamager. All right. So you're there, and that's done. That's it. Now, why does this work? Well, I'll tell you why. China has highly discouraged banks from buying US dollars and limiting how many US dollars the banks can buy. So when the Chinese go to the bank and they want US dollars, they're limited. And they know their economy's in bad shape. And with that being said, a lot of Chinese, and there are other countries that are doing this as well. So this may work where you are. They're limiting how much a person can withdraw. And then secondarily to that, if shit hits the fan between China and Taiwan, or China and wherever, and the Philippines is a possibility as well. They want US dollars. That's going to be the gold standard of what's going on. The yuan, the Chinese currency, is self-regulated. In other words, China controls exactly how much the yuan is worth. It's not tied to a definitive monetary policy. It is what they decide. US dollars are much more stable. And the Chinese want them along with other countries. China Bank's one example. So my example here is that's what's going on. My thoughts are very simply, number one, if you don't have a China Bank, but you do have other banks, check with them in your area. Number two, I can tell you right now, you're going to get the bank's posted rate at BDO and at Union Bank. We bank with both of them, and they're not going to give you 1 centavo more. But you see how much that makes a difference. That little bit of 40 centavos, 50 centavos, over the course of whatever amount of money over the course of 12 months, it makes money. Making money is kind of a misnomer, all right? But it certainly gives you better. Keep in mind that when you use Schwab, when you use your ATM card to withdraw, you're going to get hit with fees, and you're going to get hit with the conversion rate. You know, I have friends that have Schwab, live off their ATM card, and it's like, well, you know, Schwab just reimburses all my ATM fees, so I don't have to worry about it. But they're getting less pesos per dollar. Their conversion rate is actually worse than a walking streets on average, exceptions to every rule. That being said, this is the best way we have seen. It beats Remitly. It beats everything. There's no cost other than putting money in the bank at China Bank, which you can withdraw at 100% anytime you want. Okay? You just close the account, take your money out. So it doesn't cost you anything. There's no cost for you to write a check to your US dollar account. There's no cost for you to transfer US dollars into your peso account because somebody's buying it. All right? None of that. There's no cost. I can't find another way that does that. Tell me what you think. Is it worth it to you to go to the mall once a month? I know a lot of you don't have China banks where you live. There's not much I can say or do about that. The other thing is if you actually want to do it really smart, all right, you could write yourself a check, and again, not everybody can do this, for $40,000 or $50,000 or $60,000. Just tell them it's, you know, you're looking to buy property. That's fine. Philippines doesn't care. They don't need to see anything for you to do that. Now that US dollar account's fully funded, you just go when you need to go, and you don't have to go moving money in advance. So have a checking account in the US, bring your checkbook, wait till you get your ACR card, and you're set. And that works. And it doesn't matter. You know, rich people don't get rich by spending money. Rich people get rich by making money. Now, none of us are going to be rich, but this makes you a little bit more money. Can't beat that. Even at $5,000 a month, you're going to make close to, for some of you, 2 months worth of free rent. That's got to be worth going to the mall, having lunch, and taking care of it. For some of you, it might be worth more than that. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Comments below. Really, it's simple. Just let me know. And otherwise, please do subscribe and hit that thumbs up. We hope you have a great day.